Hey y'all, Shayla from Making Lemonade from Lemons, and I thought that since today was the very last day of June, I would take you around and show you, it's been a couple weeks since I showed you an update on my garden, so I'm going to turn you around and show you what I have going on. Pretty excited. Things are starting to really change, so things are really starting to change, so I'm pretty excited about what everything is looking like. Lots of growth, so here we go. Okay, so here I have 8-ball zucchini here and here, and they just started blossoming, so I'm pretty excited about those. And then this is one of my zucchinis that I have that it has already started blossoming, but I don't have any zucchini on it yet. I have already harvested a zucchini off of this one, and as you see, I have it in a cage, and I kind of waited too late to get these others in cages because I didn't have them at the time. I really like them in the cages. I can see everything better, and they're growing straight up, so I really am liking it. But as you see, I have some baby zucchini down in there, and they're blossoming. This is my squash. These two plants right here are squash, and I have harvested one from each plant already. And as you see, I've got a little bit of a slug problem down in there. Slugs have been really bad this year for me, but I also have a zucchini down in there. It'll be ready in a day or so, and then there's another one that's growing, so I'm pretty excited about that. Then as you see, some of my bags have torn, and that's okay. These are older bags. So this is my watermelon. This one was kind of battered by some storms. This one, and this one, they were battered by storms. Actually, and this one too. They were all battered by storms. And they're my watermelons and my one cantaloupe right there. So they're coming back and they're looking good. So they're starting to really do something now. It wasn't in the beginning, so. And this one is my orange watermelon. This one is growing kind of slower than the others, and I'm wondering if it has to do with the soil. So I do need to feed them. And right now is a good time for me to show you guys all of this because it's cloudy, so it's not too hot, but also because it helps to be able to see things without weird lighting stuff. So then over here are my South Anna butternut squash, and as you see, these got kind of torn up from two different things. The slugs have eaten some because I've found slugs on them, but I also have seen, we have the sweet gum trees. If you see, they have damaged the leaves of a lot of my plants falling, so during the storms. But as you see, they're starting to spread out, and that is the whole reason that I left this open, was so that things could spread out. So both of these bags right here are South Anna butternut squash. My Long Island cheese pumpkin has already started to blossom. And then this is my winter luxury pumpkin, and it's already blossomed a couple of times. The male blossoms have already fallen off. And then if you look down that way, there we go. So I actually have some female flowers that are going to be blooming soon, so that's pretty exciting for me. And then I have, this is the New England Sugar Pie Pumpkin, and they have been blooming. And what they do, the male shoots, the male flowers shoot up first, generally, so that it notifies the pollinators that, hey, we're here, and that way whenever the females start blooming, then there is already pollinators that are around. And then here is my Cherokee Tan, and if you see, it's already way down to about there. I need to move it over onto the black instead of being off in the weeds, but so anyways, so it's already growing pretty long, and that's why I created this black, I put the fabric down for this very reason. And as you can tell, it is not killing the weeds. It's still getting rain and sun through there, but pretty soon it'll be covered up with all of the pumpkin leaves, so maybe it'll die back then because it won't be getting the sunlight. And then I do still have some cabbages. I harvested 4 of them, but I do still have some that are growing. So like these are just now really starting to form heads. And so I made some kraut from the ones that I harvested, and I have a couple of empty grow bags now because of that. Like that one was a little too small, and these were too small, but I should be getting some more cabbage here in about, well, a couple of weeks anyways. Now this area right here, I need to weed it, and of course this is my corn area, but they're looking good. So I need to hill it and weed it, or weed it and hill it, and then fertilize it. But I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's looking really good. So I've got the burgundy okra here, and the Clemson spineless is right there, and they look like they're doing really well. I'm hoping that they start flowering soon and start producing. That would be great. Alright, and then I have, here's a Roma plant that I had purchased. I did purchase some Roma plants because my Roma plants were really small, so I wanted to go ahead and get some. And so I just went ahead and bought some because they were on sale. I got an extra plant, so I have 4 plants for $10. I thought that was pretty good. So then these are my cucamelons that I have not trellised yet because it has been hot, and it just has been crazy with everything that's going on over here. But as you see, I'll show you. It's so cute. Do you see those little teeny tiny blossoms? I am so excited. And then over there, and you can see hiding in there, there are my cucumber plants, and I don't have them trellised either. These are actually a bush type, but they do vine out somewhat. They're not really big vining ones, but they do vine out a little bit. So I do need to trellis them a little, but I didn't trellis them last year. I just kind of curled them around inside the bag, and it worked, but this year I would like to trellis them a little bit. So, but I've got cucumbers growing. And then right here is one of my, these were volunteer, to be honest. I had tomatillos last year that were growing like crazy. So Well, I've got a total of 3 that volunteered. So they're doing really well, actually. And I actually transplanted them. They were in a different bag, and I scooped them out of the dirt and I transplanted them here. All right, and this is one of my other Roma plants that I purchased, and it's already got tomatoes on it, and just waiting for it. And I don't have it staked yet. I do need to do that as well. I also, and I'm going to show you a big huge mess here in a second, because they just fell over because I didn't have the T-posts that I needed to do the trellising. I'm actually going to go and do that this week, but they just fell over yesterday, and it's those tomato plants right there. As you see, poor tomato plants. I have the Italian heirloom right there, and these are my Abe Lincolns right there, and they just fell over. So they're still fine. I just need to get them up so that they're not laying all over everything. I mean, they're vining plants, so they will grow that way. I just don't want them to. And then here's my roselle. I have 3 plants that made it. I had others, but they didn't make it in the frost. So these made it, and I'm really excited about them. They're really putting out a lot of greenery and everything, and I'm hoping that pretty soon we'll get some blossoms. That would be great. All right, and then I'm going to show you over here behind my Italian heirloom. I weeded it once, but I put in some beans just recently, so they have not come up yet, but that's what I used this space back here for. I put in some bush momentum beans from Haas Tools, and I will link them below. My grapevines are looking really good. I put them here because I didn't know what to do with them, so I put them in grow bags and put them right here because they're still small enough that next year I can transplant them if I decide I know where I want them. Then I have lots of tomato plants. These did not need to be trellised until now, but these and those I went ahead and did the Florida weave. I need to go back through and tie them up again. I will tell you, it has been a learning curve for me for doing the Florida weave. I broke 3 different plants. One plant I broke in 2 places, and I took them inside and I rerouted them because it just upset me so much. So this one looks like it's 2 plants. It's actually, this is my mystery plant, the one that reseeded itself from last year. So I have absolutely no idea what this one is. It looks pretty droopy, I don't know exactly how you would phrase it, but wispy, I guess. And so it makes me believe that it is an Amish paste or that type of tomato plant, because Amish paste are very much like that. They have kind of wispy type leaves. So I don't know what kind it is. It volunteered, and then beside it is a mystery plant. My black beauties are looking good, and I love the color, the purple color of the stem of my black beauty, and it's got blossoms on it. Considering how late of a start everything got here, it's doing absolutely beautifully. So I am really not unhappy at all with this. But these are all right here, the Dr. Whites or Dr. Witchies. And I do have a couple baby tomatoes on there. Okay, so right there you can see the baby tomato. And these are my Better Boy plants, which is an F1 hybrid that is very popular here in the South because it's very heat tolerant, and it grows very well here. This plant right here is the one that I broke off in 2 places, but it's growing well. You can actually see where I broke it off. I just clipped it so that it would be even. So, like I said, I do need to tie them up again because they're starting to get heavy on the strings and stuff. So I will be doing that here shortly. And those back there are looking great. Now back behind there, you can't, it's almost hard to see the tomato plants for the flowers back there. That is my sea of zinnias. I am so excited. These over here in this area, right here, have not started blooming yet, but these are really, really blooming well. And I'm going to take you over to the side to see better. These are the ones that are in the very front, and these are a smaller type of zinnia called the Persian carpet zinnia, and I absolutely adore them. They are beautiful. They almost look like Gaillardia, but they're a little bit I mean, they're definitely different. They're zinnias, not Gaillardia, but they're really, I love the colors. And then of course back here are the bigger plants, the bigger versions. And I will tell you something too. I'll show you something. I'm actually really enjoy growing zinnias for a couple of reasons. They bring in pollinators because the pollinators love them. They're beautiful, but also, I'll show you something really quickly. Okay, so those are Japanese beetles, and zinnias are a trap for Japanese beetles. So last year when I noticed, whenever I was growing zinnias, that the Japanese beetles actually ate the leaves of the zinnias first. And then once they didn't have any more leaves on the zinnias, it didn't hurt the zinnias at all. Once they finished with those leaves, then they moved on to other things. My nasturtium are still growing strong. Last year about this time, they were starting to wind down. And then I have been getting harvests of my calendula right here. They're gorgeous as well, and I have been so happy with them. So like I've just been picking the heads off because I have several different types of calendula in here. I've just been, sorry, that's my air conditioning. So I've been picking the heads off and then taking them inside and dehydrating them. And then I have my sunflowers, which are starting to blossom. These are the ones that grew first. I do have one that kicked the bucket right there. Don't know what happened to it, but it just started rotting, and so anyways, I need to go and remove that one. But then I have others that are smaller, and I have the section over behind the tomatoes over there, and beside the zinnias. There's a whole section beside the zinnias, if you see right in there, that are sunflowers, and they're smaller, but I'm excited about them growing. I know that they'll get big. So some of them are Pro Cut from Haas Tools, and some of them are they're all from Haas Tools actually, but some of them are the Pro Cut. So I can cut them and take them inside, and they don't have pollen. I and my youngest are both asthmatic, so that's good for us. I planted some straw flower from seed and a few other things, and I'm pretty sure this one is straw flower. I'm not sure if that one is a straw flower or a weed or more calendula. I don't know. That one, I'm not exactly sure what it is either. It's really, the plant itself is very pretty. It's got a very interesting leaf structure, but anyways, we'll see what it is. I see another one in there that's like it. It could be an aster, because I planted some asters as well, so it's possible that that's what that is. So, and I have some here that looks like the same leaf structure as well, and I can't remember if those are straw flowers or asters or what. Okay, so these are my purple hull pink-eyed peas, and they have been blossoming, and as you see, I have actual peas that are growing. They just have not turned purple yet. Once they fill out and then they turn purple, they'll be ready. I do have, there's some ants right there, so some kind of pest. It's eating. There's some kind of bugs there. I don't know what they are, but anyways, that they're eating. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. So this is my purple hull pink-eyed pea bed. And remember, I had some kale. For those of you who watched it, I'll put a link to the video. I had kale that volunteered in this bed. And I was really excited, and I harvested a whole bunch of it. And I'm still going to harvest some. But if you see the leaves on these, there's the Japanese beetles, and as you can see, they have actually become like a trap for the Japanese beetles as well, because I might see one or two of the bean leaves with the Japanese beetles on them, but if you can tell, the leaves on the peas, they look almost perfect, whereas the leaves of the kale are all eaten away. So I'm actually really happy that I left the kale here, because it's been a way to keep the Japanese beetles from eating my peas. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so these are my pepper plants, and as you see, yes, I still do have lots of little pepper plants. Like I said, I had to restart seeds. So the ones that you see that are big are ones that I purchased. The ones that are small are ones that I had to reseed. So most of my pepper plants are actually very small still. There's some like these right here. These are banana peppers, and they've really started to take off. I have one Cubanelle pepper that's right there that's really started to take off. I have one bell pepper plant that's really started to take off. And I have a jalapeno plant that's really started to take off. My Tabascos, which are in this bag over here, they've started to take off. I am, for the plants that I did purchase, the plant starts I purchased from Lowe's, they are starting to make little baby peppers. So these are cayennes. I've got baby cayennes in here. I also have serrano pepper plants right there. They will grow. So I'm not worried about it. It's just a little bit slower than last year, so they still have time to produce. So these are my jalapenos that are on that one. Then that is a purple bell pepper. I have some baby green peppers on that one, and on this one I have some baby shishito peppers. And then I also have, these are just starting. It's a banana pepper. There's some baby ones down there too. So I will be having peppers relatively soon. The purple bell pepper is going to be ripening within the next few days. It's already started to turn purple, so let me see if I can get a really good shot of it. It's really pretty already. So it's getting, the anthocyanins are really starting to activate in that. It's really pretty. My bean plants right here, as you see, I still have lots of flower buds and baby beans, and I just picked them today, which I see one that I missed. I'll have to go and get that one. And then I have black beans right here that are starting to bud out. This is my second bed of the purple hull pink-eyed peas, which are also starting to flower. I planted this one just a week or so later than the other one, and it's already producing peas. And so I'm really excited. They're doing really well. Okay, so this is the other bag of green beans. These are the red swan, purple TP, and royal burgundy beans. So they're still producing really well too. I will say that the highest producing are the red swan. I'm not real fond of the shape of the bean, but they're super high producing, so I'm really not upset about it. They still taste good. They still taste like green beans, so I'm just not fond of the shapes. And as you see, they still have some magnificent blossoms. I also did already harvest all of my potatoes out of the bags, and I replanted them already. So just waiting for them to start coming up. So that way I will have 2 harvests of regular potatoes. I'm really excited about it. This will be the first time that I've had a fall harvest of potatoes. But these are some of the seed potatoes that I had left over from the first planting in the spring, and I just used those to plant more because I had lots and lots of them. And I know that this does not look like much, but this is rosemary that I started from seed. I have had the worst luck with starting it from seed, and so I am so very proud of this rosemary. These strawberry plants are an ever-bearing strawberry plant, and so I do have some strawberries that are growing still. And oops, there's Praying Menace. Hi there, buddy. You scared me. I probably scared you too. Trying to see if I can show you guys without disturbing him, but I have strawberries down in there. I love to see those beneficial bugs in my garden.